Next up, they play the Falcons on Fox on Sunday. What's wrong, Tupac?
Yeah, dog.
He back at it. He playing bad.
You read that note, and I was like, oh, my God.
When I see a lot of fans in Philadelphia, pick. They say, Shady, man, you was right. I say, well, about what? About Dak. What about Dak? They say, you know the three letters.
Right now, Dak Prescott is not playing well. But the question is this, and the biggest question I guess I can ask all day is this one. Shady, is a Cowboys season on the line on Sunday? Sitting at 3-4, playing a Falcons team, is it on the line?
Not yet. It's getting closer, but not yet. They still got 2 games with the Eagles, still got 2 games with the Commanders. They got 1 game with the Giants. And then even the other season games they have, they might get still a game or 2. So not yet, but it's getting closer. You know, I do think they got to get healthier, though, right? I mean, we haven't seen Michael Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence for a little bit. And then offensively, like, what is your identity? Because you can't run the ball, right? And then your quarterback can't stop turning the ball over. So it puts you in a weird, awkward place. Like, as an offense, like, we always talk about Mike McCarthy and et cetera, but, like, what do you want him to do? So I'm scared and nervous for the Cowboys. And I mean, even saying that sounds crazy, but I told you before the season started, I don't see them going to the playoffs. I don't see how. You can't win when you have all these superstar players, all these all-pros. You lose some of these all-pros. What do you have? Same results. It's looking worse.
Yeah, the Cowboys is in trouble, and this is a must win, must have. Ooh. Because if they don't win this, the NFC ain't playing no games this year.
Not at all.
Like, the Packers is in the 6th seed right now, and they 6-2.
Yep.
And you talking about you finna be 3-5? I think the Philadelphia Eagles is
7th seed.
7th seed, and they ain't playing no games. You understand? And then you got the Vikings. If you lose this game, you got the Vikings, Eagles, Packers, 6-2, 5-2, 5-2. You're going to 3-5. Your season will be over because let's just say you split with the Eagles. You split with the Commanders. Your record is going to be terrible. You're not even going to get to 9 wins. This is a must win and a must have. And to be honest with you, their identity is Dak Prescott, and it's not a good identity. Dak Prescott is throwing the ball at a high rate. Dak Prescott is not one of these special throwers of the football that we are used to seeing. He's not.
Wow.
So,
he the highest.
So when you're throwing
the highest paid.
But when you're throwing the ball at a high rate, you're going to get more mistakes. And then he's throwing the ball at a high rate to who? The man threw a jump. The man drew a jump ball to my man Turbin, and he a returner. And he 5'8". And he throwing that into double coverage. He doesn't have the playmakers to really be special. And then the ball has to be in his hands because they cannot run the football. And it ain't like they playing with leads because the defense ain't playing well. This team is in trouble, and it's a must have and a must win for Coach Mike, for Dak, and all that. Are they going to have a lot of problems?
Oh, the Cowboys are the 13th seed out of 16 teams in the NFC, as today stands.
Jeez.
If they lose, they go to 3-5. If those teams win, which I like their chances, they're 3 games back. I don't think they're out of it, but it's close.
Right.
If they lose this game, they're going to have to win 7 of 9 or 8 of 10, whatever's left.
A lot.
And to be quite honest with you, James hit on everything I was going to say. And Shady, too, we're all in agreement up here on the desk. This is the facility. We all agree. We all see it. We all watch the film. They don't have an identity offensively. Okay? Their identity is throwing the football. They're third in passing yards a game.
They do, but
that's it.
Good.
But because they're always playing from behind, because their defense isn't good. They're last in the rushing yards per game. This vaunted offense of Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, they're 22nd in points per game. They're averaging 2 giveaways a game. 2 giveaways. That's what they used to be good at last year and why they were able to win 12 games last year and the year before and the year before. This isn't the same old Dallas team. And then what I think of is you can have all the yards you want, right? We talk about it a lot here. When you get into the red zone, score touchdowns. Do not kick field goals. They have a weapon in Brandon Aubrey. Brandon Aubrey can only kick so many field goals, and those points still, you get 6 field goals, you get 18 points. You know what I mean? They're 31st in red zone percentage. Like, they don't do anything well offensively. Brandon Cooks isn't back. CeeDee Lamb had 17 targets. You don't think this game the Falcons are going to double team CeeDee Lamb?
I just
you know what I mean?
Like, I got a question for y'all.
Yeah.
Be Coach Mike right now. You're the offensive coordinator. You going, you seeing what you have, you see your personnel, you seeing what y'all doing on film. What is your identity? Because I think he's trying to go with what is best for the team. Dak is my $60 million quarterback.
I'm about to say
but I don't have the playmakers around me. This is the weakest offense Coach Mike has ever had. When you talk about playmakers, like you coming from Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson, all these dudes, and then you come to Dallas and you have Pollard, you got Zeke, you got really good running backs, you got CD, you got Coop, you got playmakers, you got Gallup, you got playmakers. This is the worst. So he's going off of my best chance is to put the football in my $60 million quarterback's hands.
What's wrong with that, though?
Nothing, but that's what I'm saying.
My thing is, all I'm saying is that when we decided to pay our quarterback $60+ something million, right, and we didn't give our head coach an extension, okay, cool, right? I'm going to go through, y'all think is our franchise guy, I'm going to go through him. So we don't need to talk about Mike McCarthy, though. We need to talk about Dak. Because if I gave you the keys, right, because it was a question, are we going to pay him? Is it going to be for the future? Because we know he has no results in the playoffs, but he does great in the regular season. Are we going to sign him? Okay, we signed him. Cool. Now what? See, I don't want to make no excuses for nobody, right? My thing is, if these wide receivers are help is not as good, you should elevate them. We've seen other teams do it.
Seen other quarterbacks.
Come on now. So
I think the Cowboys' whole season is in disarray. I don't know. It dawned on me this morning, Shady. I don't know for you, James, Chase, you viewers at home. We're numb to things that should not exist in football. Like, y'all realize after the game, after the Cowboys lost to a Niners, what I would suggest was a must-win game, Trevon Diggs, star cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys, charges up a reporter. He charges up a reporter for something that the reporter posted on X, Twitter. But how did you see what the reporter posted on Twitter? You just lost the game. So the only way you could have seen it is if, as soon as you lose a game, you go to your phone, you check your Twitter.
Mentions.
You see your mentions, because he didn't at you. Yeah. So you see your mentions, and then you go find the reporter. I'll do y'all one better. After charging up the reporter that he found on Twitter after the game, immediately after the game, now him and his teammate Micah Parsons talking about it on a podcast. Y'all are 3-4. You checking Twitter as soon as you lose, and then you're on a podcast in the middle of the season while you're 3-4 talking about this incident. What is going on in the world of the Dallas Cowboys and sports? Like, we're numb to things that shouldn't even be existing. First and foremost, why are you on Twitter right after a loss? That's the first thing. Then why are you on Twitter right after a loss charging up a reporter? Then why are you on a podcast after charging up a reporter after getting on Twitter right after a loss? And why are you 3-4? Like, this did not exist in the era of Shady McCoy, James Jones, Chase Daniel, Emmanuel Acho playing football. Yep. This is not normal behavior. It doesn't even exist in other locker rooms. Like, the culture of the Cowboys is completely eroded. Completely eroded. I think you're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. And Mike McCarthy may not be coaching it, but he is allowing this behavior to happen. The culture of the Cowboys is eroded. Even if they lose this game or win this game, the season's done.
That's a great point, because two coaches, Hall of Fame coaches I've had, Andy Reid, Shady can talk about it, and Sean Payton, they used to always say, when we're in the middle of the season, keep the blinders on, keep the earmuffs on, and keep the main thing the main thing. And it's harder now than ever with athlete podcasts, with athletes on social media, with athletes having a voice and a platform to do that. It's the hardest thing to do is to stay off it. But those coaches had a way of just letting guys know this is what matters. These 53 guys in this locker room, how we play every single day, the employees, the cooks, the chefs, the training room, that's what matters. And especially when you're 3-4, you have to block out the distractions. That's what the horse blinders are on. Andy Reid used to say all the time, put the horse blinders on, boys, let's go. In good times or in bad. The Chiefs are undefeated right now. He's saying the same message to an undefeated Chiefs that Mike McCarthy should be preaching, and maybe he is, to the Dallas Cowboys at 3-4.
I just think this is the Dallas Cowboys. I just think this, because this is how they always act. It's just the last couple of years they've been winning football games. But it's always this kind of little stuff with the Dallas Cowboys before Coach Mike. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of people fell in love with the Dallas Cowboys, because the personalities and all that off the field, but they were winning. You're losing now, and now a lot of this stuff is questions, but y'all, they just got to find a way to win some games. And then you on Twitter, and he on you because of effort. It wasn't like, hey, man, you just got beat off the line of scrimmage or something. He on you because go try to chase down Kittle. You just watch him.
They losing, so it's like it's the thing to bring up. But I mean, it happens in every locker room. We can't act like dudes ain't on Twitter, Andy Reid teams included. Like, these dudes are young dudes. These young players. And I think the thing is what Andy Reid makes him so special because he can adapt. But it's the Cowboys, so we don't make it a big deal. But I've seen Calvin Ridley. He have a whole situation with reporters, right? He's saying, like, I'm really a good player, right? I just ain't getting the ball a certain way. When I get the ball, you see what I do. So I feel like it goes on everywhere. The difference is it's the Cowboys and they losing.
Yes.
They get more attention than ever.
No doubt about it. They got to find a way to get back in the win column. What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.